welcome to a 28th episode of the Liverpool Career Mode, where we're going to play the FIFA World Cup 2022 with England. So if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to like it and subscribe to my channel. So here we can see our World Cup group. We will play against Scotland, of course, that'll be a UK derby. We'll play against Slovenia, who of course have Handanovic, their great goalkeeper, and against Egypt with Mo Salah, of course. So it's a very easy group, and I'm sure we'll have to finish first in this group. So looking at the other groups, Group A has got Italy, the Netherlands, Chile and the Czech Republic. Group B has got Spain, Colombia, Bulgaria and the United States. Group C has got Poland, Australia, Uruguay and Portugal, which I would call the group of death. Group D consists of Belgium, Brazil, Northern Ireland and New Zealand. We are in Group E. In Group F are Germany, Ireland, Canada and South Africa. In Group G, France, Greece, China and Côte d'Ivoire. And in Group H are Argentina, Turkey, Romania and Cameroon. So looking at our team, which we'll take to the 2022 World Cup, it's a very good team, lots of talents, lots of experienced players as well. So I think we can definitely win this World Cup with a bit of luck. So let's go! Hello and welcome to our first World Cup match, England versus Slovenia. So we line up with Dean Henderson in goal, a backline of Ben Chilwell, Harry Maguire, Joe Gomez and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Midfield of Jadon Sancho, James Maddison and Jordan Henderson. And a front three of Marcus Rashford, Harry Kane and Raheem Sterling. So now first to attack, and it will be Slovenia. Slovenia shoots and it's a great save by Henderson. And they get the rebound but they miss the target. What a miss by Slovenia. Here we see a replay. He should have scored, but he hit the post. So now in the attack, James Maddison gives it to Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling to Harry Kane. Harry Kane shoots and scores! 26 minutes played and Harry Kane scores to make it 1-0 against Slovenia. Here we see a replay. Raheem Sterling gives it to Harry Kane, who turns, shoots and scores. Great goal by our number 10, Harry Kane, to make it 1-0 for the Three Lions. Now the attack again, we give it to Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford shoots and it's a great save by Jan Oblak. Here we see a replay. What a shot by Marcus Rashford, and then Jan Oblak with a fabulous save. So now Slovenia on the attack. We block it, but they win it back. They shoot and it's a great save by Dean Henderson once again. So now on the attack, Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling shoots and it's a great save by Jan Oblak. So now Slovenia on the attack. And Trent Alexander-Arnold takes it, but it hits the crossbar. Very lucky for Trent there not to score an own goal. So now Harry Kane to Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho shoots and scores! 83 minutes played and now it's game over. We win 2-0 against Slovenia. Get in there. Here we see a replay. Great through ball by Harry Kane to give it to Sancho, who shoots and scores. Great goal by Jadon Sancho to make it 2-0 for England against Slovenia. And that's for time. We win our first group stage match of the World Cup, 2-0 against Slovenia, thanks to a goal by Harry Kane and a goal by Jadon Sancho. Hello and welcome to our second World Cup match, Egypt versus England. So we line up with Dean Henderson in goal. A backline of Ben Chilwell, Harry Maguire, Joe Gomez and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Midfield of Jadon Sancho, James Maddison and Jordan Henderson. And the front three are Marcus Rashford, Harry Kane and Raheem Sterling. So now Jadon Sancho on the wing. Jadon Sancho shoots, and it's a great save by the goalkeeper of Egypt. So now Egypt on the attack. They cross it in. Mo Salah shoots and scores, but it's offside. We get away with one there. Very lucky for us. The referee puts his flag up, and that means Mo Salah was in an offside position as he scored the goal. Here we see a replay. It was a clear offside by Mo Salah. So now with the attack, Raheem Sterling gives it to Kane. Harry Kane gives it to Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho is on, and it's a penalty for England. 34 minutes played and Egypt get a yellow card as well, and we get a penalty. Here we see a replay. Jadon Sancho was stopped by Egypt's number 2, and that means it's a penalty for England, and of course who else but Harry Kane to take it. So Harry Kane will take the penalty. He steps up, and it's a great save by the Egyptian goalkeeper. Here we see a replay. Great shot by Harry Kane, but even better save by the Egyptian goalkeeper. So now Jadon Sancho with a through ball to Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford shoots, and it's another great save by the Egyptian goalkeeper. So now Harry Kane gives it to Jadon Sancho. Sancho back to Harry Kane. Harry Kane to Maddison, who scores! 52 minutes played and James Maddison scores to make it 1-0 for the Three Lions. Here we see a replay. Harry Kane to Sancho. Sancho back to Kane, who gives a through ball to James Maddison, who shoots and scores. What a crucial goal in this match by James Maddison to make it 1-0. So now Harry Kane gives it to Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling passes it to Sancho and scores! 74 minutes played and Jadon Sancho scores to make it 2-0 for the Three Lions against Egypt. Here we see a replay. Raheem Sterling on the wing, passes it in to Sancho, who's free in the box, shoots, and of course, what else than scores. Great finish by the Liverpool attacking midfielder, and of course the England midfielder here in this match to make it 2-0. And that's full time. We win our second group stage match, 2-0 against Egypt, thanks to goals by James Maddison and Jadon Sancho. Hello and welcome to our third and final World Cup group stage match against Scotland. So we line up with Dean Henderson in goal. Backline of Ben Chilwell, Harry Maguire, Joe Gomez and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Midfield of Jadon Sancho, Curtis Jones and Jordan Henderson. And the front three are Marcus Rashford, Harry Kane and Raheem Sterling. So Scotland line up with Bain in goal. Backline of Robertson, McKenna, Tierney, McTominay, McGinn, Cyrus Christie. And the two strikers are Harper and McBurney. So now we're in the attack. Raheem Sterling gives it to Harry Kane. Harry Kane shoots and scores! 6 minutes played and Harry Kane scores to make it 1-0 for England against Scotland. Here we see a replay. Raheem Sterling on the ball, gives it to Harry Kane, who shoots and scores. Great finish by our number 10, Harry Kane, to make it 1-0 against Scotland. So now the attack again. Marcus Rashford gives it to Harry Kane. Harry Kane shoots and scores! 11 minutes played and Harry Kane makes it 2-0 against Scotland. Here we see a replay. Rashford gives it to Harry Kane. Harry Kane shoots and he scores. Great goal by Harry Kane to make it 2-0 against the Scots. Now Scotland with a free kick. They head it and they score! Kieran Tierney scores in the 14th minute to make it 2-1 in this match. Here we see a replay. Scotland with a free kick. Kieran Tierney, the Arsenal left back, heads it and scores to make it 2-1 in this final World Cup group stage match. So now Maguire wins it back with McGinn. McGinn gives it to McBurney. It's a good save by Anderson. But McBurney shoots and scores. 26 minutes played and McBurney equalises for Scotland. Here we see a replay. McGinn gives it to McBurney. First of all, it's a good save by Dean Henderson, but McBurney wins the second ball. He shoots and scores into the empty net. Very disappointing, and Scotland make it 2-2 in this match. But now we're on the attack. Raheem Sterling and Sir Jones scores! 30.5 minutes played and Curtis Jones scores to make it 3-2 for England. Here we see a replay. Raheem Sterling on the wing gives it to Curtis Jones, who shoots and scores. Comfortable goal by a young Scouser wearing the number 19 for England to make it 3-2 for the English national team. So now we win the ball back with Sancho. Curtis Jones shoots and scores! 59 minutes played and Curtis Jones scores our 4th goal in this match, and his brace. What a game by the young Scouser. Here we see a replay. Sancho gives it to Curtis Jones, who shoots and scores. Lovely to see Curtis Jones scoring a brace against Scotland in the World Cup to make it 4-2 for England. It's now Curtis Jones on the ball again. Curtis Jones wants his hat-trick. He shoots and he does it! Curtis Jones with a hat-trick for England at the World Cup against Scotland. Get in there! Here we see a replay. Curtis Jones dribbling past the defenders. He shoots and scores. Great goal by Curtis Jones to make it 5-2 for England against Scotland. And that's full time. We thrashed Scotland by 5-2 thanks to 2 goals by Harry Kane and a hat-trick by Curtis Jones. Hello and welcome to the FIFA World Cup match, England versus Canada. So we line up with Dean Henderson in goal. A backline of Ben Chilwell, John Stones, Tarkowski and Carl Walker. Midfield of Phil Foden, Curtis Jones and Declan Rice. And the front three are Jack Grealish, Calvert-Lewin and Xhaka. So now Phil Foden gives it back to Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones to Phil Foden who shoots and scores! 49 minutes played and England scored to make it 1-0 against Canada, and what a goal that was! Here we see a replay. Great through ball by Curtis Jones, and Phil Foden just about gets there in time. He shoots and scores a top corner goal to make it 1-0 for the Three Lions. So now Calvert-Lewin on the attack, gives a through ball to Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones shoots and scores! 68 minutes played and Curtis Jones impressing again with a goal and assist against Canada. Here we see a replay. Great through ball by Calvert-Lewin to give it to Curtis Jones who shoots and scores. Great finish by a young Scouser to make it 2-0 in this World Cup match, and surely will get us through into the quarter-finals. So now we make a substitution. We bring on Ward-Prowse for Curtis Jones. But now Jonathan David shoots and scores! 82 minutes played and Canada might have some hope now to come back into this match. Here we see a replay. Jonathan David on the ball. He runs, turns, shoots and scores. No chance for Dean Henderson to save it. No chance to defend that. Great dribbling and a great goal by Jonathan David to make it 2-1 against Canada. So now Canada on the attack again. They give it to Jonathan David who shoots. It's a good save, but he scores! 88 minutes played and Jonathan David turns this game around to make it 2-all for Canada. Here we see a replay. They give it to Jonathan David who shoots. It's good save by Dean Henderson, but then David scores on the rebound to make it 2-all against Canada. What a shock this is for us. So now Calvert-Lewin gives it to Bukayo Saka. Saka on the attack. Saka shoots and scores! 105 minutes played and Bukayo Saka scores to make it 3-2 for England against Canada. Here we see a replay. Bukayo Saka with a great run to get past the defenders, shoots and scores. Great goal by the young Arsenal wide midfielder to make it 3-2 for the English national team. And that's full time. We win 2-1 against Canada thanks to goals by Phil Foden, Curtis Jones and Saka, and that means we'll progress into the quarter-finals of the World Cup. So welcome to the quarter-final match of the World Cup, England versus France. So this is how we line up. We start with Dean Henderson going. A backline of Ben Chilwell, Harry Maguire, Joe Gomez and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Midfield of Jadon Sancho, James Maddison and Jordan Henderson. And the front three are Marcus Rashford, Harry Kane and Raheem Sterling. So this is how France line up. They start with Areola in goal. A backline of Mendy, Varane, Upamecano and Mukiele. Midfield of Kante, Aouar and Nkunku, Paul Pogba, and their two strikers are of course Kylian Mbappe and Karim Benzema. So now Harry Kane on the attack, gives it to Marcus Rashford who shoots and scores! 12 minutes played and Marcus Rashford scores to make it 1-0 for England against France. Here we see a replay. Great counter-attack by us. We give it to Marcus Rashford who shoots and scores. What a bullet by Marcus Rashford. No chance for Areola. And Marcus Rashford makes it 1-0 for the Three Lions against France. So now France on the attack. Houssem Aouar. Aouar gives to Benzema. Benzema shoots and it's a great save by Dean Henderson. So now Maguire. Awful pass. Mbappe on the ball. Mbappe shoots and scores. 32 minutes played and Mbappe equalises for France. Here we see a replay. Harry Maguire, awful pass. He lost possession, gave it to Mbappe, who shoots and scores. Very disappointing defending by Harry Maguire. And now France are equal in this match. But now in the attack, Harry Kane gives it to James Maddison. James Maddison. Maddison turns. Maddison shoots and scores. 58 minutes played and James Maddison scores to make it 2-1 for England. Get in there. Here we see a replay. James Maddison stops, turns, shoots and scores to make it 2-1 against France. What a goal by Madders to make it 2-1 against France. It's now the attack with Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford gives it to Maddison who shoots and it's a great save by Alphonse Areola. So now Harry Kane to Sancho. Sancho shoots and it's a good block and Sancho shoots, it's another block and Harry Kane shoots and it's saved by Areola. And that's full time. We win 2-1 against France thanks to goals by Marcus Rashford and James Maddison, and that means we'll progress into the semi-finals of the World Cup. Hello welcome to the semi-finals of the FIFA World Cup, Belgium versus England. So Belgium line up with Thibaut Courtois and goal, a backline of Alderweireld, Michel and Denayer, midfield of Carrasco, De Bruyne, Tielemans and Manuja, Hazard and Lukaku, and their striker is Divock Origi, the Liverpool player, which is funny of course as we are the Liverpool managers. So we line up with Dean Henderson in goal, a backline of Ben Chilwell, Harry Maguire, Joe Gomez and Trent Alexander-Arnold, midfield of Jadon Sancho, James Maddison and Jordan Henderson, and the front three are Marcus Rashford, Harry Kane and Raheem Sterling. So now on the attack, Harry Kane gives it to Marcus Rashford, Marcus Rashford shoots and scores! 5 minutes played and Marcus Rashford makes it 1-0 for England against Belgium. Here we see a replay. Great run by Marcus Rashford, who shoots and scores to make it 1-0 against Belgium. What a hit by Marcus Rashford. No chance for Thibaut Courtois, but from a tight angle like that, that is a great goal. So now Carrasco on the ball for Belgium. Carrasco gives it to Lukaku. Lukaku shoots and scores! 17 minutes played and Lukaku scores to make it 1-0 for Belgium. Here we see a replay. Carrasco on the wing gives it to Lukaku, who turns, shoots and scores. No chance for us to defend that shot by Lukaku, and he makes it 1-0 in this semi-final of the World Cup. So now the attack, James Maddison shoots and hits the crossbar! And we get it again, but James Maddison can't score. So now Belgium will shoot and it's a great save by Dean Henderson. What a save! Here we see a replay. They shoot and it's a massive save by Dean Henderson. So now Carrasco on the ball. They give it to Origi, and they score with Tielemans. Yuri Tielemans, the Leicester City player, scores to make it 2-1 for Belgium in the 38th minute of this semi-final. Here we see a replay. They win it back with Carrasco. He gives it to Origi to Tielemans, who shoots and scores to make it 2-1 for Belgium. And now we're trailing in this match from a 1-0 lead. We're now losing 2-1. But now Harry Kane gives it to Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling shoots and scores! 79 minutes played and Raheem Sterling scores to make it 2-2 for England. Come on! Here we see a replay. Raheem Sterling with a great run. He shoots and he nutmegs Thibaut Courtois to score to make it 2-2 for England and to keep us in this match. So now the attack. They win it back, but Harry Kane, come on, 86 minutes played, Harry Kane scores! 86 minutes played, Harry Kane scores to make it 3-2 against Belgium. What a comeback by the Three Lions, wow! Here we see a replay. They tackle the player, but then Harry Kane gets it, shoots and scores to make make it 3-2 for England after we were trailing Belgium by 2-1. Harry Kane and Raheem Sterling score late on in the match, in the last 15 minutes of the match, to make it 3-2 for England. And that's for our win, 2-1 against Belgium. What a comeback! And that means we will progress into the final of the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Hello and welcome to the World Cup final, England versus Brazil. So here's how we line up in this World Cup final. We start with Dean Henderson in goal. A backline of Ben Chilwell, Harry Maguire, Joe Gomez and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Midfield of Jadon Sancho, James Maddison and Jordan Henderson. And the front three are Marcus Rashford, Harry Kane and Raheem Sterling. So this is how Brazil line up. They start with Ederson in goal. A backline of Teles, Fabinho, Marquinhos and Emerson. Midfield of Arthur, Roberto Firmino and Casemiro. And the front three are Neymar Jr., Jesus and Anthony. So now with the attack, James Maddison. James Maddison turns. Maddison gives it to Harry Kane, who shoots and scores! 32 minutes played and Harry Kane scores in the World Cup final to make it 1-0 for England. Here we see a replay. Great dribbling to give it Harry Kane. He shoots and scores. A top corner going. Calm as you like. Harry Kane turns, shoots to make it 1-0 for England against Brazil. So now for the attack, Marcus Rashford. Rashford gives it to Jadon Sancho, who's forward, but Kane wins it back. Harry Kane to Maddison, who shoots and scores! 41 minutes played and James Maddison scores to make it 2-0 for England. Here we see a replay. Great by Harry Kane to win the ball back. He gives it to James Maddison, who shoots and scores. Great hit by James Maddison to make it 2-0 for England. So now Harry Kane gives it to Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling shoots and it's a great save by Ederson. So now great through ball to Jadon Sancho. Sancho shoots and scores! 49 minutes played and Jadon Sancho scores to make it 3-0 for the Three Lions against Brazil. Here we see a replay. Great through ball to Jadon Sancho, who turns, shoots and scores. Great counter-attack by England to make it 3-0 against this Brazil team, which is truly incredible. It's now the attack again. Harry Kane just gives it a play, gives it to Maddison, who scores! 90th minute, and James Maddison scores his brace to make it 4-0 against Brazil. Here we see a replay. Harry Kane, he just kept it in play, gives it to James Maddison, who shoots and scores. We thrashed Brazil 4-0. Who would have expected that? What a game we are playing here. And that's full time! England are the world champions of 2022 thanks to our 4-0 thrashing against Brazil, thanks to goals by Harry Kane, Jadon Sancho and a brace by James Maddison. Get in there! So if you enjoyed the 28th episode of the Liverpool Career Mode, where we played with England for FIFA World Cup 2022, then please make sure to like it and subscribe to my channel, and see you guys next time.